Welcome back to the live stream. Have you ever walked into a negotiation feeling like you're at a disadvantage? Like it's time to name your price and you just discover that you just have an awkward feeling about everything. Or maybe you've agreed to a rate already, and when you started the work or when you're about to start the work, you realize that you undersold yourself. Have you had that feeling before? If you've been a freelancer, an entrepreneur for a while, I'm sure somehow you must have gone through this. I've gone through this myself. So in tonight's video, we are going to tackle all of that head on, right? Let me know if you get into the live stream. Let's know where you're watching from so we can properly welcome you. If today is your first time seeing my face, what we are tackling is something you need to sit back and watch to the end about. My name is Chisom Mutibaka, streaming from Uyo in Nigeria, and I'm your girl. This is my 30 days in December business hangouts, where we are sharing everything, strategies, tools, attitude that we can use to maximize and meet our income goals come 2025 as business owners, as freelancers, editors, writers, and all that good stuff. Okay, so I'm going to guide you through actionable role playing. Yes, there's role playing in this video. I'm going to tell you, we are going to do it like you are meeting an actual client. So we're going to have a lot of elements of that in this video. And tonight, the goal is to help you to understand how to negotiate your rates confidently. All right, and because you need to charge your worth and close bigger deals and 10x your income in 2025. I just use that 10x because it sounds very cool anytime I hear it. So why can't I use it in my video? Yeah. So whatever 10x means to you. So let's say you'll be earning a million naira in Nigeria for your per project. You can earn 10 million naira. That's what 10x means, right? So yes. So let's put the effort and we're going to make it. Now, this is the game plan for this video. Okay, one person in. Yeah, this is the game plan for this video. Let me know in the comment section where you're watching from so that I can properly welcome you to the stream. How to confidently negotiate your rates and the game plan for you earning what you truly deserve. Let's dive in, okay? Right. Now, negotiating rates can feel so intimidating. It can feel overwhelming. You can have butterflies in your stomach just at the point you're asked to name your fee or at the point you're going to finally, get it on, right? But here is true. The way you negotiate sets the tone for how much value your client will see in you. So even before you get the job done or before they see the result of what you're asking, or rather they're asking you to do, they already have a perception of you from your negotiation style and from your rates, right? Have you ever wondered why it seems like people will price you, then they leave you and finally do the job with somebody in the same industry, of course, who charges way higher than you? Have you had that experience? Let me know in the comments. Or am I the only one? Like, people should don't leave me in the cold. Let me know if you've had that experience where you named your rate. In fact, you were trying to be very humble and considerate. But at the end of the day, you heard things like, I'll get back to you, okay? Then finally, from industry gist, you finally find out that these clients have gotten the job done. You find out which of your competitors or colleagues finally handled the job. I found out that sometimes they pay 3 times what you are charging them to get the job done. Perception is the rule of the game. Perception is the rule of the game. If by now you've been doing business without understanding or trying to understand human behavior, then that's something we need to tackle also in this video. Okay. Now, you don't have to undervalue your skills in any way. If you undercharge, you're not just going to lose money, you're going to lose your value. That's a fact. See, I was in that trap for years, and I can confidently tell you that it doesn't feel cool at all. As an editor, I've been in a place where I felt like I have perused the work, I've reviewed it, and I've placed the right charge. By the time the full manuscript gets in, because sometimes we ask clients to send in maybe a chapter or 2 of their work, by the time the full manuscript gets in, it's like you're already demotivated before you start, because you're like, oh my gosh, first of all, is either the turnaround time is too soon, you should have asked for more time, and again, the fee is not motivating enough to make you do this thing from a place of happiness and fulfillment. You know what I mean? I was in that trap for years. Like, literally, I've told my story on this channel, but let me share it again, because this is our live stream school, right? I started business in 2009, and I started with proofreading and editing of manuscript for writers. At that time, I didn't know any Nigerian company that was, doing stuff like that. All the editors I knew were in newspaper companies and all that, and I had a couple of friends as well. And I was also a registered member of the National Institute of Nigeria Institute of Journalists, right? So I understood a little bit about editing when it comes to journalism and all that, but when it came to literary editing, which has to do with helping people to edit their work, whether children's books, self-help books, fiction, all that, I was just new to it. I was passionate about it. I've been doing it for years before that time for free, but this was me deciding that I wanted to make it a business, right? Then I didn't know any company I could look out to benchmark and say, okay, so this is why I need to do this. So I went to good old Google. Of course, Google has been a savior, like a darling. I went to Google and searched for other companies who have been doing editing. I saw a lot of companies in the US, in the UK. You know how it is. Welcome to the live stream, Hadi. Welcome. Or any other person on the live stream, please drop a comment so that we know you're here and I can welcome you properly. All right. Now, I went to Google, found out other people's rates, and I'm like, why are they charging so high? Like, you don't blame me. My Nigerian brain and currency was playing tricks on me. So I used their rates. I didn't, put my rate at that or even half of what they were charging. I put my rate like way lower, like maybe 10% or 5% less of what they were charging per page or per word, but I chose per page. And I went ahead, but you will not believe that the first time somebody ever wanted to give me a script in 2008-9 to edit, it was over 660,000 words. I had my rate. I have already decided that this was what I'm going to charge, but trust me, I couldn't bring myself to name the price. I was that, I don't know what it is, imposter syndrome, low self-esteem. I don't know what it is. It was my first time doing business. It was my first time ever selling anything, and this was me selling my skill, something I've been doing for years for free. So it felt like fraud. It felt like, are you okay? So that happened, and I went on from there to confidently start charging my rates. And then discovering my rates were low and kept increasing and increasing. So it's a journey, really, right? Now, I did a lot of free work. I did a whole lot of free work. And yes, for a beginner, it's good, right? But now, if you continue to do a free work from the place of fear, then it's not good. If you're doing a free work because you want to get people to have a taste of your services and then use their testimonial of your work to then market further and get paying clients, then that's smart, right? But that wasn't what I was doing. I was just doing free work because I wanted people to just feel happy. Maybe they will help me tell other people, that kind of thing. See, it doesn't work. So many times it doesn't work. So I didn't get anything in return, even when I did those things. The high point, some people even began to pay me at some point. I remember that lady who had 60,000 words of work. She paid me whatever she wanted because I couldn't charge my rates. Like, okay, T-Boy, welcome to the live stream. Welcome. Woman, please answer. What's your question, please? What's your question? Who am I? My name is Chisomu Tibaka, Uyo in Nigeria. I'm a YouTuber on this channel, and we're talking how to negotiate your rates as a freelancer, entrepreneur, whoever you are, right? And this is part of my 10, I keep saying 10. This is part of my 30 days in December strategy masterclass to help people become all that they can and financially, topple their income in 2025. Okay, you're white, yeah, anybody is welcome. White, black, brown, mixed race, we are all here. We have a large community here, so you're welcome. All right, so I was in that trap. I was telling you my story. I was in that trap for years, like literally, I kept feeling bad. And I was at that point where I was always, even some days when I'm like, okay, I'm going to stick to my rates, I've had them written down, and I finally named the prices. I come back, I didn't have a good evaluation of work sometimes. So sometimes it was just back and forth. The high point came in 2013. You want to hear the story? In 2013, I actually had a client who I was editing his work, and he was also interested in publishing, and I had published just one client before that time by outsourcing the printing aspect, since I didn't have a printing press and all that. So I got his work done in 2 weeks, and then he asked for a cover design. I got a graphic designer in-house, did it for him, charged him. Then I got a printer, negotiated with them to print his work. Anyway, all of this now lasted about 9 months thereabouts to get the whole work done. And then he called me one day, and I think he paid me about 40,000 naira, which is about $20, thereabout right now. And that was what the book cost for editing at that time. But remember, I had gone ahead to do other services, and I wasn't charging for it. I was just being happy that somebody even wanted me to help them. If I made money at all from those people I outsourced to, maybe 5,000 naira extra or something. But this guy was so kind enough. After the work, he told me that I undercharged him. That looking at the operational cost, the time it has taken me to give him all of those value, I should have charged him for every of those milestones I helped him achieve and all of that. And he took time to even school me on how to price my work. So from being my client, he became my friend and my consultant. So I exactly know what this topic is about. Yeah. Now, I began to unlearn. I began to get myself out of that low pricing and all that. And now, let me even give you a fact. Come 2025, the global freelance and entrepreneurship space is going to get even more competitive price-wise. Clients are going to be willing to pay top dollar for personal brands, for people providing services, people who are working remotely and all that. But see, it's only going to be based on people who demonstrate that they have value to give and who are confident, people who have expertise. See, don't get it mixed up. That has always been the rule of the game. I always tell people, if you want to know how your clients perceive you, think about yourself. Will you pay yourself with the way you package your service, with the way you appear, with the way you pitch, with the way you name your price? Right? So put yourself in their shoes. Some people say, oh, will people pay? People are not buying what I'm putting online. I asked them, if you were not you and you saw your advert as a stranger, will you even allow your card, will you swipe your card on the link for this kind of service? So always think of other people like yourself, right? Now, before I get ahead of myself, remember that learning to negotiate is a skill you can learn. That's the good part. You can learn it. Nobody was born with negotiation skills. Some people might get easier with it because of their personality, but that doesn't still mean that they came custom made to negotiate, right? So by the end of this live stream tonight, you would have gotten practical strategies on how to communicate the value that your services bring clearly to your client or to your prospective client. You know how to handle common objections like, your rate is too high. Why is your rate too high? And all of that. And you will also be able to close deals without feeling like you're pushing your clients, you're suffocating them, and they're actually finally going to give it to you because you feel desperate. We're not doing that desperation game in 2025, okay? So before we start, go grab your notepad, because that's how we do it, because this is going to be action-packed. So let's go, if you're ready. So step one, let's start from the first thing you should do. Before you get into negotiating for a project, somebody's asking you to come work for them or deliver stuff for them. Before you get into that at all, prepare. Yes, prepare. Don't just get in there and then start thinking on your feet about what to say, what to do. No, it puts you at a disadvantage, right? Now, negotiation begins before you even step into the room to negotiate, or you come on the Zoom meet, on the Zoom live or the WhatsApp group. If you have gotten an information about these clients, the first thing for you to do is to look them up. Research them on social media, research them on their website, read about them, understand who they are, understand the stuff they are made of, their industry, the other kind of people they have outsourced some services to, what their budget is like, what their income stream is like. Yes, you can get a feel of that by looking up their company structure and all that on the internet. Don't miss this. Try to understand their points, the things that you think that they're desperately looking at adjusting when it comes to that service. You can also use LinkedIn and Google, of course, to learn about their current project, how they are doing it, people they are partnering with. It will give you an idea of where their income is. So don't just quote price when somebody just meets you for the first time. Don't quote your prices immediately, but I also advise, don't push it away too long and do all of those professional things, and they are waiting and you're asking a lot of more questions. Strike a balance, right? Strike a balance. Except this will work also. This might not be necessary to research if maybe your fees are also preset, like you have your fees already. It doesn't matter who is coming, who is asking the price. It doesn't matter the industry they're coming from. Your prices are ready. So be at a ready, alert, set place. That's the first thing. Number 2 aspect of getting ready is know your worth. What are you worth? Sometimes we just overlook these things and think we are always looking at other people in our industry and how much they are charging. We're always playing the price comparison thing. It can be paralyzing. It can. Learn to calculate what makes up your cost properly. Calculate your rate based on your experience. Like right now, I'm 15 years in providing professional editing, proofreading, book consultancy services, and publishing. You can't tell me nothing. I can't give you a price and you're underpricing me and I'm going to get angry or get fidgety. No, I can't. I feel like I've seen it all. Yeah. I feel like there's no type of client I haven't met in 15 years. Yes, I might be wrong. Every day there's new every morning, but I have seen all shades of clients, all kinds of budgets, all kinds of organizations, right? And I'm still open to learning, but at least I know what to expect. So I can't be second guessing my pricing at this stage. And I understand that everybody must not be at this stage. You might be a beginner, or you're 2-3 years in, or you're in your first 10 years in. All of us have different experiences and also have different levels of vision, right, for our businesses. So to calculate your experience there, because if somebody refers somebody to you and tells the person, oh, you know what, this company knows what they are doing, their CEO has been doing this business for 15 years, and then the person comes and your prices are low, something in them will feel like something is not quite right here. So you're going to disappoint the person and put them off without knowing. Also, one of the things you should calculate when you're deciding on your rate is the results you bring for your clients. Imagine taking a manuscript that is not well edited and proofread and publishing it. I've had a client back in 2010. Somebody referred him to me because he was desperate. He was at a place, he was almost depressed. What happened? He had already published this work, printed them in several thousands of copies. His goal was to let this text, which was actually a storybook, to be recommended to be used in a certain state, the whole statewide secondary schools. It was when the book went for vetting at the government resource center that they had spotted out some of the grammatical errors and issues with the work he had already printed. And see, he did not use the services of quacks. He used a prominent, and I dare say very popular publishing house at the time. Now, whether their in-house editing team were tight and all that is a part I don't know, but of course they were one of the biggest traditional publishing companies at the time in the country. And this man was like, what am I going to do with all of these copies? And we came back to the drawing table. We had to still get a soft copy of the work, which he didn't have because the publisher didn't even give it to him. We had to intermediate between them to be able to get the publisher to release the soft copy of the work so that we can begin to fix the errors. So so you have to know your worth and the result you bring to clients. I was saying that to say that if now that I know that clients can spend a whole lot of money, millions, if I say so, and then come back to start from square one, if they don't meet my services, then I know that my prices aren't fair. Part of knowing your worth is understanding what the market demand is also, so that you don't overshoot or come down. But remember, your clients is the determinant of your pricing. And remember that confidence comes from a place of clarity. When you put your rates according to certain things you understand, time, time, the deliverables, I'm sorry about that, your deliverables, the result that you bring. Pardon me, please. I don't know. My live stream illness. I don't have illness though, but every time I'm on the live stream, this happens. Thank you. I have super loving people around me, so they always stand by to attend to me. I'm so grateful. So bear with me. So I was saying that understanding what you bring to the table really changes the game. Excuse me. Okay, don't be also coward to charge lower than what you want to charge. Pardon me. I don't even know how drinking water that relates to stopping sneezing, but it kind of helps me. Okay, so great. Now let's play out. Oh God. Victory. Go. Please give me my handkerchief or something. Look for my listen in the room. You want to open it, right? I need more ventilation. Huh? Cloth in my room now. I will be silent. My God is a light. I cannot keep it inside. Please pardon me a few more minutes, please. Let me just fix myself. Okay, thank you. I wanna be quiet, my love. I wish live streams have like a pause button where you can pause it and then continue. All right, so I've been sneezing. Please pardon me. We are continuing in a jiffy right now. Now, hearing my story about negotiation can make anybody relate. Anybody who is struggling with this, no, it's okay. Anybody who's struggling with pricing to understand that it's kind of normal, even though yes, it's abnormal, right? It's abnormal not to have confidence, but it's normal. It happens to a lot of us. That's what I mean by normal. Okay, so let's play a scenario. Assuming you're a freelance book editor and you're trying to get an author to work with, and then you've researched their book genre and all that, and you know that what they're writing on is an aspect that is gaining a lot of popularity, and this author is also very focused on making a name. You can position yourself as the right person by, say stuff like, I specialize in writing. I'm specialized in editing works like yours, and my editing process ensures that your book is ready for top level publishing, and your book will help you stand out. You can mention all the services that make your editing stand out beyond just the conventionals. That way, the person understands what you're bringing to the table. Building or preparing will help you build confidence, because it will give you a foreknowledge before facing the client. You know what I mean? So let's go to the second part of this, which is how do you master making your value known to the prospective clients? Because that's also the part that a lot of people struggle with. Yeah, at least I struggled with it back then, because it took me time up till maybe 2019 for me to realize that for every time I have bought something, I didn't buy it because I just wanted the services. I bought it because I wanted to solve a problem I had. So people pay for results, not just services. I mean, if they have their way, they would rather not pay for services. And this brings me to the point where a lot of service-based companies always complain that people, like, now let's look at the real estate company, for instance. Clients will pay anything to get blocks, pay for cement, all those physical products. They will pay willingly. They're not even going to negotiate, because they feel like the product is fixed. But they will negotiate the architect's fee, the contractor's fee, labor fee. It's the same thing, right? So if you're an editor and you're wondering why do they keep pricing and going back and forth and all of that, you need to understand that people need results. So those things that are product, they feel like they can see it is tangible. So your product has to look like a product. Your services has to look like a product. It has to be packaged like a product, right? We're going to get deep dive into that much later in another video. But for now, understand that people pay for results, even you. Most of things you buy that Chanel bag not because you need another bag, or you don't have a bag to go out with. So you're not trying to solve a bag problem. You're trying to solve a class perception problem. You want to be perceived a certain way. You want to turn heads when you enter a room. That's the problem you want to solve. That's the result that you want. People look at you and like, oh girl, it's that girl over there, right? So you're not trying to solve a bag problem. So you want to step out in fashion, turning heads, and people wanting to know who you are further. Everybody wanting to identify with you. Do you understand? So you need to position your offer as a solution to your client's problem. See, if you have followed this live stream so far, you would have noticed that this keeps coming up. Catering to the pain points of your client. You see, you can't, if you understood only just this thing, anything you sell in 2025 will blow up. Trust me. So, to be able to master how to communicate your value, and now that you understand that people buy results, ask questions that helps you discover your prospective clients more. That's one step to be able to master conversing for value. Ask questions. Find out, what do they want to achieve? What are their goals? What are their timelines? What are the challenges they are having that made them even want to reach out to your service? That will give you an idea of where their desperate pain point is. See, discovery questions are so fulfilling. Trust me. Now, the next thing you have to do is make sure that they understand that you are the expert in the room. If you want to communicate your value, people they need to believe that if they leave you or they leave your company services, they're going to get substandard elsewhere. So they don't have anywhere else to go. They either stick with you or stick with you. And see, let me tell you, if they refuse to stick with you, then they're not your clients. Read my lips. They are not your clients. You have to position yourself as expert by connecting their needs with the results that you can give them. Remember what I said, if they walk away, they are not your clients. At least at that time. At least I've had clients who left and said, oh, your fees are high or something. But they came back months later, sometimes to fix the problem that other people they went to consult had caused. Most times from a place of they hadn't even moved on with the project, so they decided that there's no need, let's come back. Or they've gone to get the money needed. I had a client recently from the UK. She just said, oh, don't worry, let me raise the money, give me a couple of days. And she did exactly that, right? Next thing, if you want to communicate your value, is understand what your fee covers. If you fix your fee arbitrarily, you will give discounts at this arbitrarily meaning that you just say it on the top of your head without knowing what is covered. So understand what your fee covers. Is it for, even if part of your fee is to cover your luxury vacation afterwards, after that project is done, is tangible, is deserving, yeah, so let it be, because it's part of your business. If you are, as a CEO or as a person doing the job, is not catered to, you won't be able to be there to provide the services, right? So it's authentic, so you make sure that you understand everything, and of course you understand that your fee has to cover your time, your expertise, the resources you use while doing that job, everything, rent, your laptop timeline, your software, I mean, there are lots of things that, of course, that you use in the course of doing that work that need to be costed or put a fee to. Now, let's do a role play. Since I promised you role playing, right? Excuse me. So let's say a client tells you, no, your rate's higher than others, meaning that they have done a research or they've asked other people in your industry. What should you respond? If I were you, I'll say, oh, great question. I really love this question. My rates reflect the value that I bring over this couple of decades or years. For example, you're still talking. My last client was able to publish her book in just 9 days, fast, and she also landed a speaking gig. In fact, let me give you a real life scenario. Now I'm now answering with my real life case study that just happened, right? So I'll say, yeah, great question. My rates reflect the value that I bring. Just an example. My last client was able to publish her book in just 9 days, and this is for real, and sold out her books on the launch of her book, and landed sponsorships on that same day because of my services. I was also on hand to review the work. So this is an extra value that I give for my clients. And I aim to deliver that kind of impact for you. Right? So always tie your rates to the outcome that they care about. Tie your rate to the outcome that your clients want, desperately want and care about. Does that make sense? Yes, it does, right? Okay, so let's go to the part 3. This part, we're going to be talking about how you can handle those common objections, how you can handle them without stuttering, without feeling, less confident, how to handle them confidently, because objections are normal. Expect them. I actually expect that people will say, oh, your rates are high, or why is this way, right? So because it's an opportunity to educate your clients about your brand. Objections are normal. Say it after me. People objecting to your services, especially your rates, is normal. See, don't be letting it shake you. Instead of being afraid of it and all of that statement, prepare ahead of time to handle the objections. So let's do another role play. So somebody says your rates are too high, whether they told you face to face or by email or WhatsApp message or anyhow, or through somebody who referred them. Respond happily. Oh yeah, I understand. Can I ask what you were expecting, the rate you were expecting? Because sometimes rates can seem high upfront, but clients often find that they save money on the long run. Get what I mean? So let them, if they respond with what you're expecting, the rate and all that, you break down the services that you offer. Just like how I told you, I edited, formatted the work, then I was able to come in to do the book review. It could be more. So when you break it down and the time and all that, they'll be able to understand. Let's say another objection could be, oh, I'd like to do this with you. I need to work with you, but can you lower your rate a little bit for me? What should be your response? Okay, so your response, you can go something like, it can be just feel free. It can be, I can adjust the scope of the work, to suit your budget. Then we can complete the rest later. So maybe something like, if for the 10 chapter editing work you need to do, you can say, okay, why not, let's use, since this is what you have now, maybe we should do the first 5 chapters and then complete the other chapters and when you're ready. You get what I mean? Lowering your rate is not negotiable, but you don't have to come off as, no, you don't negotiate with me. Try to make them see that you really want to add value to their brand, to their work, right? So you can promise to tackle the rest of the work later when they get the full fees. Another objection that is common is people saying, we are comparing you with other freelancers. When we make up our mind, we'll get back to you. Simple. You say, I understand, and I encourage you to find the right fit, because you deserve just the best. But what I can promise you is that my work, or our company's work, is thorough, is deadline driven, trusted, and tailored to your goals. So give them the assurance, but let them go. Don't be desperate. See, notice how I was saying all of this in a very calm, confident mode. That's how to do it. Don't apologize. Don't apologize for your rates. You didn't make a mistake placing them in the first place. Remember, you know why exactly you put your rate at where you put them. Negotiation is dialogue, not war or battle. So take it gently and you win them over for the ones who are your clients. Now, step 4. Let's practice more role playing. Now is the time for the fun part, okay? So let's practice. This is the time you have to practice. You have to decide by yourself, create your own scenarios, answer them. So you sit in front of your mirror or your laptop and ask, and imagine a client was sitting in front of you or just sent you an email saying, oh no, I can't pay this. How can you justify this? Or can you give me a lower rate? Give your own answer so that when you practice it, it is easier for you to say it when you actually meet the client for real. So I'm asking you, play your own role play. Practice. That's the part that we are in. Practically practice how you're going to answer and place value on the rate that you have decided. Yeah. Now let's look at a scenario. If you're pitching your writing services, for instance, to a small business owner who wants to create an ebook, for instance, but you notice that he or she is hesitant, that doesn't really want to pay the full price on all of that. Now, your goal should be showing them how your skills will save them time and save them and create a lot of value for their ebook. How they can get on with their ebook and start selling fast. Now, let's look at another scenario. Assuming a client is trying to undercut your editing fee and asking for a whole 30% discount, right? Now, your goal should be push back confidently, while creating a win-win. So like I just mentioned, if they want a 30% discount, maybe you could do a part of the job. So if the work needed 3 stages of work, like developmental editing, copy editing, and proofreading, you can offer to do developmental editing alone for that fee and get them and help them to connect them to another client who they might go to do the final proofreading, stuff like that. I'm just giving examples, right? You can always feel confident naming your price and what it covers. It's very important. See, and confidence has a way of showing through. It's people look at it as much as you're saying stuff, people are also perceiving what you're not saying. So if you're fearful, no matter how confident you're trying to sound, they're going to perceive that you don't quite have confidence and may not be able to render the kind of value that you're mouthing. Seriously. So now let me know in the comment section, what are your own responses and how will you go about these scenarios when people are trying to make negotiation feel scary for you? Okay, so let me give me the comment section. Please write in the comment section right away. You do when people ask you that why your rates are higher than other people, or whether you should give them 30 or asking you for a 30% discount and all of those things. Let me know in the comment section. Right now, a quick recap. Always make sure that you prepare before setting out to negotiate with any clients, and also make sure that you understand your worth and you know the value that you bring to clients. Also, focus on the value. Your clients care about the result you can deliver. That's what is important, right? Now, learn to handle objections confidently, not like a fight or like they're looking down on you. Stay calm throughout the process. Practice makes perfect. Practice answering people who are objecting to your rates. You get confidence with practicing, and you don't have to practice with a real client. Practice in your mirror. Practice like an actor, and you see yourself play out even better when you have a real scenario. I want you to remember that negotiation is not about being pushy, being in their face, forcing them, sounding desperate. It's about how you position your value and how you create a win-win situation for you and your clients. All right, you deserve to be paid what you're worth. Trust me. Okay, so if you found today's session helpful, imagine how powerful it will be if you join us again tomorrow, 10 p.m. throughout December 30th till December 31st. So I'll be here every day by 10 p.m. to tackle all of those issues that we need to knock out before we get into the 2025 business year. And I want you to know that I'm rooting for you. Whatever it is, drop a comment. Let me know what you feel, and let me know what your biggest takeaway is. Like this video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Please join my family. This is called Chi Money Gang for a reason. Join my family by subscribing, and I'll see you again tomorrow, same time, 10 p.m. Nigerian time. Cheers.